I think first of all, I should congratulate you that you're still standing and you're still here for the last session, for the last day of the conference. And then, yes! And then I want to thank our participants, exceptional people from top leading companies in the industry, because you are still here and it's Friday. So, bravo. Very exciting subject, I must say. I was very keen to participate and meet you guys to moderate the subject. Because it's quite interesting for me, both as a Cypriot and somebody that is based here, and to hear the perspective from you guys. Before I start, I want to take this a little bit more interactive. So I want to give you, to get the conversation going, I would like you to introduce yourself and say a few words about you, your role in your company, so the lovely audience can get to know you better. I will start with Anastasia.
Okay. I do my introduction at every webinar. So my name is Anastasia Yanni, and I'm the CEO of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. Our company is a licensed agency that is operating in every area of Cyprus: Paphos, Limassol, Larnaca, Famagusta area, and Nicosia. I myself have been working in Cyprus real estate market for it's really scary. Every year it's become more and more scary to say. One more year, for 25 years. I've been working for Pafilia for many years, and then I started real estate agency. So I think that it's a very interesting combination of the view from the developer's perspective, from the agent's perspective, but also from the person who moved from another country 25 years ago and built their life with children, with schools, with kindergarten here. So that's my introduction.
Thank you, Anastasia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Gustav Ledonius. I'm working as a sales director for Ambi Development. We're a relatively new company, developer. We only build large projects, primarily or only in Limassol for now, in various areas. We also do commercial and residential. And the reason we build large projects is to create a community with lush greenery, no cars, so children can play, and safety, and so on. By the way, come to the booth if you want a little bit more. My experience spans from working as a chartered surveyor in Sweden to global markets, financial markets, both on the buy side and sell side. I was the general manager for a lifestyle resort here in Cyprus for the last 7 years, until I had the privilege to join Ambi Development in January.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you all. Thank you everybody for being here this evening. My name is Slava Rodriguez and I represent Bazaraki here. Bazaraki is the #1 marketplace in Cyprus. We have everything from mobile phones to cars to real estate, and I'm leading the real estate vertical of Bazaraki and also of Larixon Group, which is the head company of Bazaraki. We have projects in 5 countries around the world, and here I represent the tech side of real estate, so more of a helicopter view, a data view. Personally, I've been in tech in the marketplace business for more than 10 years in different countries. Started from Russia, working at the biggest classifieds website in the world that was founded by 2 Swedes, currently belonging to Russia, to then a international real estate marketplace operating in 120 countries, and now with Larixon Classified. So I know a great deal about this part, and I hope to bring some big picture data perspective to the conversation.
Thank you, Slav.
Thank you.
So today we're talking about the new Cyprus movers, who is arriving, who is staying. And I find this a bit of a debatable subject, if I must say. So Cyprus is attracting a broader mix, at least from my perspective, a broader mix of international people. There's no longer just one type. You're looking for, I remember people saying that they were coming here to retire, or people that were coming here only to invest. I do believe that in the year we're living, we are tracking different types of people that they have different goals. I want to get from each one of you, like your point of view, based on your experience and from where you sit, who are the new people that are coming to Cyprus? Who's the new target audience that's actually coming here? I will start with the lady in the group.
Thank you. It's always nice to be the lady of the group. You know what? I think that Cyprus is a very, very unique place. And that it is its beauty and the privilege. It doesn't attract just one group. We can never say that this is the group that we are looking at. It attracts such a diverse interest, different countries, different requests, different perception. But what I like that it gives Cyprus its stability because we're not depending on one market. Let's say now something happens to Israelis or something happens to Russians. Market will not stop. Market will keep going and keep going strong. But what I want to add that, you know what I love? That now the market attracts new people in which way? They don't see Cyprus as transitional phase. Many of them see Cyprus as their place to be. And I think this is a big change.
Absolutely, I fully agree, fully. Also not nationalities, which I fully agree with you, diversify the risk, basically. But you also see that Cyprus offer much more lifestyle groups who see this as a lifestyle rather than 10 years ago when you had your corporate structure, you had, say, more financial, legal, more rational reasons of buying here. You've seen increasingly people buying for lifestyle reasons. And I think also, I mean, being Swede, high taxes, I see the, you know, the value in this. So we don't only diversify, I think, in nationalities, as Anastasia said, but also what it offers, for example, tax optimization, good healthcare, school, weather, and so on. I mean, I'm an example, like Anastasia, I did also the move from Sweden. Children go to schools here, good healthcare, food, sea, and so on. So I think we have the full list of competing with any country in the world.
You know, because now I think it will be a very relaxed session. And you know what I think? Maybe because we are moving to the weekend, in a way, Cyprus now is like meze. Like, you know, it serves everyone. You look for taxes, here you go. You look for wonderful climate, there you go. You want school, it is coming next. Healthcare, so that everything for everyone.
Yeah. I was going to say something like that.
You can say so.
No, I think also, I mean, in comparison, this is in absolute values, right? I think also in comparison, relative value, for example, Spain, Portugal, other countries in Europe, I think that we're less saturated. Obviously, we said taxes, like Spain, high taxes. The residency program, for example, you had the tax residency in Portugal, the non-habitual residency program, which stopped. We have it. So I think we have a lot also in relation to other countries as well.
I think there are more benefits, sorry, Slava, there are more benefits in Cyprus compared to the Greek program, or if you want to invest in real estate, or choose Cyprus to relocate.
I think yes.
I think the only negative is the very expensive flights to get out.
The flight connections is absolutely a disadvantage, obviously. I mean, you have 3-4 from Sweden, let's say, or Germany per day, all year round, which in Cyprus, you don't have that. That's the, but we're on the right, I mean, now Kazakhstan is starting, so we're on the right way.
You know, I came from a different panel where there is a diaspora event going on as well, and we had a very interesting discussion. And there was one idea that I think we don't mention enough. We really always go about taxes, where they're about something very, very measurable. But no one says, and I think it's such a true thing, that Cyprus is one of the few places when you move here, you feel comfortable. The local people are so open and inviting. You feel comfortable. Your kids feel comfortable. It's one of the few countries where during the first generation, you can start feeling local.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. We don't mention
We
that
don't
too.
mention
We
it
don't.
enough.
You're right.
We go taxes,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the something that I
You're
think
right.
attracts more substance.
I mean, I must. Sorry, Slava.
You'll get your time.
Yeah, sure.
I'll cut them out.
But for example,
agree.
for example, I lived in Dubai, I lived in Greece, I lived in the US, and what you say, I've never felt. Well, Sweden, of course, but I've never felt what I feel in Cyprus, and it's absolutely true, and we don't mention that too much. You should be a little bit upset things.
Bazaraki should measure this.
Yes, an index of
An index of
welcome
satisfaction.
Smooth pass to you, Slava.
Yeah.
Yes, no, it's amazing to hear how what Anastasia mentioned about Cyprus in terms of her seeing people moving more to stay rather than to just be here for a while. It's what as I understand, you observe this on the ground, right? And this is what I came here with. I don't know, I was preparing for the panel, and I came here with the data. Actually, we see that the searches from abroad for real estate for sale are performing much better year over year than rental. So people are actually looking straight away to buy. And this is, so we see the same. It's actually very, very interesting. For us, I think that it's what we see in the data also, what Anastasia mentioned as well, that it's for everyone. There's no like a country that takes it all. There are different leaders all the time. They replace each other. So, for example, we see in Q1 2026, so just this year, for the first time, UK is not the leader in rentals. We see that Germany is now number one, and then we see Netherlands, who is suddenly top 3. And then what we see also is Russia is like almost vanished in terms of looking for real estate. Of course, there is a part of demand that is already here. It's on the island. We don't see this. We can't understand this from data really. What maybe use their language of their phone or something, but majority here have their phone in English. Just for you to know, also. Interesting stat.
I want to start with you because I like the point you mentioned. Actually, I had it as a question moving forward. So very interesting insight that most searches now are for buying a house than renting.
It's not most. It's still rentals are still higher, but they are growing faster.
Okay.
The buy.
Why do you think this is happening? What changed over the years that led to this customer behavior, if I may say? Is it the people that are looking for? Is it because now we expanded to attracting, I don't know, like digital nomads? Is it because of the diaspora that they are promoting this? Is it because of the expats living on the island that they're promoting the island abroad? Because I think, based from my experience, that it's not really relevant to the industry, that it's not because international companies are relocating people, it's because that actually people are looking to move into Cyprus. I get this feeling, at least. I want to get your insight because you seem you're the data guy.
Yes, our data doesn't reply to why, really. So I think the why is better answered by Anastasia and Carl. Well, from my point of view, personal, what you said is the snowball effect, and really people who move here, they bring more people. They start promoting this. I think that the net promoter score of someone who moved to Cyprus and then can recommend Cyprus is very high.
I think it's a combination of factors. And I think this is one of the successes of Cyprus that, again, we don't talk enough. That people who moved, they're becoming ambassadors of Cyprus. Like now let's say we have a new member of the team who moved from Germany. She's saying that, guys, like you don't realize how good life is here. And it's not just her, lots of people are saying, so they're becoming free ambassadors of Cyprus. And people believe them more than advertising, because again, there are so many factors that make life better. And I also think that we have generational change. New generation, they're less connected with the place they were born. They're more connected with the quality of life. They're chasing quality of life. They have money to afford it. So they're choosing place that is welcoming, that is comfortable, where you can make money and
safe.
live. It's safe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you notice these patterns from the developer side as well?
Oh, absolutely. It's like what Slava and Anastasia said. It's completely shifted to. I mean, people don't buy square meters anymore. They buy amenities. They buy proximity to school. They buy safety. This is kind of what they are buying nowadays, and that has to do with we're perceived more and more as a lifestyle destination, with all the good positives that we have as a country. Obviously, also the technical advancement that advertisement, on social media and so on is becoming more and more for this generation, for example. But I think the most efficient channel, so to speak, is what Anastasia said. The ambassadors who does purchase here for whatever reason, it's the most efficient, I think.
Do you think we do enough as Cyprus authorities, let's say, to promote the island for people to relocate here, apart from the tax benefits? Do you think there is enough work and promotion from the local authorities or the government here? Because I know for a fact that many of your companies acting as ambassadors and promoters of relocating Cyprus because it benefits you for multiple reasons. But as local authorities, do you think we do enough? What else can we do?
How do you measure it? I think, again, look, there is always room for improvement. So there is always room for improvement. So let's keep doing the work that everyone is doing and get the results.
I think we can do more.
I
And
agree.
the reason I'm saying that is...
I was very politically correct.
I know I'm going to be a little bit diplomatic as well, but there's room for improvement, absolutely. But for example, when I go to Sweden, which I go a few times per year, I see, as an example, I see much more the north, for example, being promoted more than here. Which may be, nothing bad or wrong or right, but yeah, I think we can do more.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I want to put another question on the table, and if you feel comfortable to answer, I think it will be interesting. All this demand that Slava mentioned, and you understand that Cyprus is an attractive destination. How does it affect the pricing, the processes, the people coming here, and how it will shape the future of real estate in Cyprus?
Well, we go back to basics, and the basics of economy is always supply and demand. If there is high demand and lower supply, the prices will go up. So it's the laws of economy. We cannot change it. So that would be my answer.
Absolutely. The short answer is what... Sorry, Slav, no, you want to...
Go.
I mean, the short answer is
Go one
supply and
by one.
demand. Prices of rents and property purchases will increase, of course. But I think it has major ripple effects on the economy as a whole. More people, more ambassadors. It's a cycle that comes more consumption, services, products, more
money in
ideas,
the
more
system.
exactly. I think there's a shift now in the market. For example, as I said before, people don't buy square meters anymore. They demand or they want amenities. They want communities. And this has to do with more people coming in, and they've traveled. They come in with their preferences and so on. So
I think that very often the issue is not the price of the property, it's the salaries and how people can afford. So what you said, that money is entering economy, more people are coming, more ideas, more opportunities for other businesses to create places. We are facing labor crisis, which means that the salaries should go up as well. So it's all the patterns in the same picture, all connected.
The interesting pattern is prices by city, really. When you think about it and you look at Limassol, Limassol is by far the, let's say, most demanded city in Cyprus. But we see that when the laws of supply and demand push some demand into other cities, then the situation stabilizes a little bit. So I think that this is what we see. We saw a big surge in Limassol at some point. Especially, I think, the wave of 2022, 2023 migration raised the prices. We always see that demand for rentals from Russia and from Ukraine, it was always in the higher segments. You know, when you look at all the countries, they are somewhere in the middle, and then there is one step above that these two countries were. Right now, it's more equal, I would say, and then the demand flows into where it makes more sense for them.
And I think it moved out from the city centers now. It's expanded to the areas around the cities because of demand and supply, and because it fits the pattern that people trying to find like better life balance and something they can come home. So you can see this effect is expanding. It's not just Limassol anymore. And I can see this from other cities you know better.
Well, I will tell you a secret. It has never been just Limassol. So it's...
I can feel. But I mean, for me as a Cypriot, we always had this perception that it was Limassol and Paphos was something else. And I know it sounds ridiculous because we're locals and yeah, but again, we had like these boxes for each city about what it means and what it represents. I want to go back to Slava, you know, I'm starting with you.
I'm ready.
I want to understand, based from your perspective, because you deal with rental and buying, and you have like a massive platform that helps as well. Do you have any insights you can share from like the local markets as well? I mean, you mentioned that the patterns change from the internationals. What about the local market?
The local market is well, when we say local market, it's people who are on the island right now. It doesn't mean that those are only Cypriots. It's everyone who is here. So first of all, in general, we see that Cyprus is an amazing market, attracting a lot of people from abroad, but also within the activity is extremely high. Last year, 2025 versus 2024, and now on our platform, the amount of inquiries for real estate grew 40%. And this year, Q1 versus Q1 previous year is again plus 40%. So it's just people are super active in the market. I think that here the rent and there's no same pattern for rent versus buy. As we see in the foreign demand, it's a little bit more equal, I would say, the way they grow.
That's so cool when everything we see is supported by data.
We're all right.
I want to talk a little bit about marketing and how you utilize this data to promote your business and attract buyers. How do you I know that the easy answer is yes, but you adapt your message. Sorry, my microphone is making noises, right? Okay, sorry. So you adapt your messages based on countries and language. Yes, that's the obvious thing. Now that you have the insights, Anastasia mentioned it, Slava mentioned it, that we have people from different backgrounds, different ages, that they are choosing Cyprus apart from taxes, they're choosing Cyprus for lifestyle, they're choosing Cyprus for better salaries or to be closer to Mediterranean for whatever reason. How do you adjust your message to each of these audiences? Share a little bit of your secrets and insights.
You know, I wouldn't say that we go with completely different messages to different people, because again, we need to understand that in many cases, there is always like the path of every person who is interested in Cyprus. In the beginning, they will find out about Cyprus regarding of what message you send. And then you narrow it down. But the messages for all the countries would be universal. Of course, let's say if we know that, let's say, Netherlands just introduced a crazy tax on wealth, of course we will tweak the message. But it will not be like across the border the core messages will still be the same. And only from time to time, we would tweak it based on what surged the interest in that particular time.
Yeah.
Now I
think-
see why the Netherlands are up on our list.
Of course, unrealized profits.
Right.
Excuse me.
I want to ask Carl, based from your perspective, what is one thing Cyprus needs to get right if it wants to stay attractive to international people?
Oof.
Anastasia is ready to answer if you need time.
I would say two things: speed and trust. So, if I had to choose something, I would say the bureaucracy is something that we would have to. It's no one from the government here, I hope, but the bureaucracy is something that I think we need to become better on. Because don't forget that it's the global market now nowadays. People they compare globally. They compare with Greece, Spain, Portugal, Thailand, Bali, and we need to become more faster when it comes to title deeds, for example, building permits, and these kind of things. I think that's quite important. I think.
Is it the same case for you that you're more realistic?
Yeah, look, I think that again, first of all, we should drop the idea of perfection and actually may the beauty of Cyprus is a little bit in its imperfection as well. But at the same time, we definitely need, like in any, if you take the country as a business, in every business, you need to increase efficiency, you need to increase accountability, and you need to use data for all of this. Because look, we're all talking about title deeds. It's a process. You know, like if on every stage the process was improved, the result would be amazing. And if there would be a person who would he's accountable. You know what?
Yeah.
I have to issue title deeds. I will not get my bonus. I will not get my salary if I don't do this.
It's very interesting that you mentioned these 3 points as like things need to be improved. And at the same time, it's very sad for me because they are the same issues across industries. I find like these 3 things are what we need to improve in the infrastructure and how we operate as an island.
But it's not bad. You know, like again, it cannot
for
be
improvement.
room for improvement.
exactly.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask Slava, which audiences you think will shape the next phase of demand? Basically, I want to understand what's the new audiences. You mentioned Netherlands, I would say. Okay.
Yes.
Make competitor, okay. And what is the one trend that we should pay attention to that it's changing and shaping the market?
It's hard to predict. It changes all the time. You know, you have Israel top of the list all the time, and then suddenly it's not. And you know why? Because the world is also not a very stable place. So it's hard to predict what will be next. I think that at least the very stable on the long term that we see is demand from the northern countries of Europe. Which is a nice thing, right? It's good. The people that are coming. They are someone who are used to good process, to the stable economies. They bring money here. They bring habits of the northern countries. So I think that at least some kind of stability for the market and resilience. This is, I think, the word is the right word. Is what we can expect. But it's hard to predict who will be next top one.
Do you think things that are happening in our region affect the demand or the perception of Cyprus? I know, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But what can we do, or what you guys do as a community to change or improve this perception of Cyprus? I mean, now with the crisis, with the war happening in the region, I got a lot of clients or friends from abroad calling and asking if we're dying or where we seek shelter, which I wasn't getting that feeling living in Cyprus. You know, it was more of, no, you should book your vacation. Yes, you should move on with your investment plans. Everything seems okay in Cyprus. What's your role as market leaders in helping this perception of Cyprus abroad?
Well, I think that, first of all, of course, we are affected in huge way for all the geopolitical changes in a very, very big way. And being a small country, it's a plus and a minus. Plus that we can react much, much faster. Minus that if something goes seriously wrong, then it can be seriously wrong. But at the same time, I think we're all doing this as much as we can. It's the creating awareness, educating people, telling the world what is really happening. Because, you know, it was very, I think for all of us, it was very frustrating that when people started canceling the flight, we can understand why. Because when I was reading the media from the UK, if I was in the UK, I would be scared as well.
Yeah.
So our job is to, without being like two pink glasses, to share the reality, be very transparent, and educate the world about Cyprus.
Absolutely. And this is where the ambassadors as well, the people who purchase with us and so on, they're doing the same as well. I mean, I'm sure that everybody here, but I have many friends that have purchased from me during the years. And they're the best ambassadors because they go back, they have relatives, they're coming. So it happens much in a faster way. But that's the best way, I would say.
Education is a great word, Anastasia.
Yeah.
And PR in some sense as well. Same situation. I mean, I was in Spain when the thing was happening, and I saw on the news that there were some protests in Nicosia against the UK base. And then I spoke with our local team here, and they were like, "Which protests?" You know, and they are based in Nicosia, so so that was awkward.
Yeah. Things are happening. It's not like they're lies, but it's not as over dramatic as they represent.
Yes.
So, because I want to leave some time for questions,
Yes.
since you're all here, I will start with Slava. And very briefly, looking ahead, what's the next day of real estate? Forget case rental or buying. How does the next day look like?
The next day.
The future.
The future. Okay.
I want it to be inspiration.
Okay, I would say, well, we mentioned a lot of good words. I would add one more word, is transparency, something that this market needs a lot. And I think in your questions that you were sending before the panel, there was a question about, how do you know when the buyer is becoming into a serious buyer versus a browser? We, of course, with a lot of traffic, we see people who are just browsing, and this is normal. You have a marketplace, you have a storefront, you're looking. And I think once they become more serious, they want more data. They want to know how the market is performing, how this specific area that I looked at, what were the deals that were happening here before, how much can I expect in appreciation of my investment, of my purchase, what are the rental yields here. So I would say that bringing more transparency would help make easier and better and faster decisions.
Thank you. Har?
I'm going to steal two words that Anastasia and Slava use, but transparency, efficiency, and trust, I would say.
Well, I think that Cyprus' future is very bright.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
like I always say, unless the meteorite comes and falls on Earth. But other than that, I think that the future is bright. We have lots of talented people in Cyprus. We have lots of local talent, and we have lots of talent that came. And what I like that now they're coming and they fall in love with Cyprus. They want to make changes. They invest. They open new clubs. They do lots of things. So I think that this will make Cyprus even better. It's already great, but it will be even better, and especially if there will be changes on all the levels.
I agree. And I want to add here again that as a local, that as I was born and raised here, I do believe that people coming from abroad with different experiences and different backgrounds and investing here, either in companies or property, and they helped the market grow. They improved the life on the island, as in facilities, things to do. They helped create a community as well where you can network and evolve. So I believe it was a huge benefit on a society part of it as well, apart from the economics and all the obvious reasons. I want to thank you, but not fully yet, because I want to see if any from the audience wants to ask a question. Hi! We have celebrities in the audience.
I actually really hope that you have questions, because you are staying at the last panel. Yes, last panel of the...
I'll put the spotlight on you, Sophia.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia, marketing manager at Cyprus. Lovely to see familiar faces. It's really funny because I've been jumping from diaspora to realty on over the last couple of days. And it's, as a Limassolian, again, born, raised here and working now in real estate, I think like everybody in this room, one of the things that we find most frustrating is conversations with local community, and I'm going to refer to Cypriots here, who obviously have a gripe with real estate development. They feel that they're being pushed out of their cities. They feel that they don't like the progress. I mean, despite the fact that we've got old apartment blocks collapsing and killing people, they have a problem with the high-rise towers. You know, there's all of this conflict of opinions that I personally find very frustrating, because I know that I have a logical answer to everything that they say. And like Anastasia said, it's an ecosystem, isn't it? So better salaries are coming in because the country is more competitive. Nobody from my circle of friends could ever live on the front line. In fact, when I was a child growing up in Limassol, there were 4 houses on the front line owned by the biggest, wealthiest aristocratic families in Limassol. So there are very warped perceptions of real estate among the Cypriot community. And just the thought that I had, and I just wondered if there were any initiatives that you had engaged in, is there a way that perhaps with all the money and the sponsorship that we all pay to come to these events that are very much B2B, if we're lucky they're B2C, but I mean, we don't want to be preaching to the converted. We also want to educate the local community. Is there something we should be doing with the municipalities, perhaps to have open days to raise more awareness about real estate, about the positive impact on the economy? I mean, when I was promoting Limassol Marina 20 years ago, you know, it was never about Limassol Marina. I was promoting the island, then I was promoting the city, and I was trying to get across to people that it was a landmark that would change, you know, the face of Limassol and Cyprus. And of course it did, and many other developments since have done the same. So I would just love to hear your thoughts on whether there is something we can do to bring more equilibrium to the reputation that real estate is gaining among the Cypriot locals like me. I mean, obviously I have the other side because I'm educated enough in the sector, but what about the people who are not?
Mm-hmm. But you know, I was just thinking that, you know, we all do this education and all promotion for people who don't know Cyprus. So maybe, yes, maybe it's our responsibility as a professional community to explain again. We cannot solve it because, you know, like we all understand that, yes, prices are going up. We know that. We know that there is a need for affordable housing. But you've been at there was a conference of developers. It's not even about incentives. You cannot give this responsibility to private companies who are taking all the risks of the construction materials, of the labor cost, of everything. And the private companies is in the business of making money. So we all understand that. But I think that here it's a very, very important point to share. But at the same time, there should be some commitment from the government to support it. Because of course, every person would say like, my God, the prices are going up. how can we afford it? Yes, even with mortgages, you need to have 20, 30, 40%. So the concern is clear. But education and action, it should be there, and maybe as a professional community, we should initiate it.
Does this apply in your
Oh my
case?
God, we changed to a different.
Does this apply for you as well? Because you handle different type of projects.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I maybe it should be our, we should in together with the municipality, or I don't know.
It was just an idea that I threw out there because it's interesting how in the panels I feel a sense that everybody in this room shares the same mindset and mentality about real estate, and I agree with Anastasia that the future is very hopeful and it should be for everybody. But anyway, I think the idea of who is coming and who is going, still the local community remains as it is. So yeah, perhaps it's a conversation that we have to have with the Land
But you know,
Developers Association.
But I think it's changing. I think there is a generational change as well. So it's not, there is changing. And people, like everyone understands that you cannot, if you stay still as a country, it will be not good for, it will not be good. I remember when I got pregnant many, many years ago, and my biggest thought was, my God, my children will grow up and they will leave Cyprus. There is no future for them because there is nowhere. Now, my son is the first year in university. He wants to come back because he sees the future. And I think that all the local families, they would be saying, okay, not all, but many of them. And the new generation, they also understand that, how do they say, money don't grow on trees. You need to work, and if you work, you make your first installment and then you buy a property. That was motivational.
No, it's great. I've given you a topic for another viral.
But Sophia, it might not be only education. It might be also a fear of being, left behind.
Yeah.
It might be a feeling of envy. Maybe I cannot, and so on. And that's hard to educate, but you'll get somewhere for sure. And I think it might be a generational shift as well. More younger people going study, see more, want more, able more, come back. And that's actually the fastest way of a society to progress. It's going to other countries and come back with new ideas and implement that here.
That's why it's interesting that the two forums are running at the same time, because that's what they're discussing in the diaspora. So it's just a nice common thread.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophia, for the question.
Any questions? Because it would be nice to have interaction at the last panel of the event.
Okay, the next one who will brave enough to ask a question, I'll buy them a beer.
Oh, I'll ask the question.
Okay.
Yes. I guess you explained everything very well and everyone is inspired. That's why there are no other questions.
Look at the inspired faces.
No, but then, guys, then I really need to say thank you for finding energy to come, because, like I love speaking at the panels, but it's a completely different feeling when you see people, like when we all feel that we're not just talking with each other, that we're talking with you. And actually I feel it. So I think that I want to say thank you for coming and listening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.